This is my 1988 Ford Mustang Fox Body. I bought this notchback Mustang almost 3 years ago, and it was the cheapest 5-liter manual Mustang that I could find. But that did not come without a catch. You see, this car was in shambles when I purchased it. No headlights, barely a front bumper, it ran bad, vacuum leaks, exhaust leaks, oil leaks, and worst of all, the strut towers were completely rotted. Over the last 3 years, I've managed to repair all of the rot, repair all of the steering and suspension. We've even gone ahead and done a few upgrades. But like any car guy, there is one upgrade that I need to do that I haven't quite done yet. That would be an exhaust. This car came to me very hacked together. It was someone's half-finished track toy project that they decided to booger weld, and we are going to finally fix the exhaust because it has been bugging me this entire time. Right now, the exhaust just cuts off halfway down the car after the mufflers, has a very hacked together H-pipe that is catless. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna throw some tailpipes on, we're gonna try to make this a little bit more proper than it is. Let's go ahead, let's jump right into it. Behind me is the Mustang in question. I've actually already gone under the car. I got a really cheap set of tailpipes for it, 2.5-inch tailpipes. I think it has Flowmaster mufflers. We'll have to see. We're gonna pull it off, we're gonna get welding. Got a lot of work to do, so let's see what we're working with and let's see what we can make happen. Okay, so admittedly, I've been driving this car with half of an exhaust basically the whole time I've owned it, and it is, not that I've driven it a lot. I've probably driven this car, for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Nick, you're watching Olsen Auto, and I've probably driven this car a total of 200 miles since I got it 3 years ago. Time to put the exhaust on because this thing smells bad, and I can deal with smells, but driving this thing more than 15 minutes, your eyes start tearing up, it gets hard to breathe. It's pretty bad. It's probably pretty dangerous too. I can only imagine how many brain cells I'm killing driving this thing. So the exhaust as it sits is pretty much non-existent. I already got the car in the air, and I have some tailpipes hung up with zip ties. Instead of actual hangers, I just use zip ties for now to kind of hold it up and make sure that these were A, the right tailpipes, and B, would look good. So right now, you can see the kind of hacked together hanger that I put. Well, that ain't doing much, is it? So my hanger ain't doing much, but it's a Catless H pipe. I want to say this is 2 1/4 exhaust all the way to the front. Yeah, so the H pipe's right there. It's not the prettiest, but it doesn't leak surprisingly, which I'll take. Whatever brand that says, yeah, Flowmaster mufflers. It actually sounds really good. It's nice and loud, which for this car, I kind of want it to be nice and loud. And then as you can see, the muffler just kind of ends here. The original owner, I don't know, this car's had enough people run through it by now. The exhaust actually used to run up through the cabin of the car, through this hole they cut out, and then out the side of the rear quarter. So it had a side exit exhaust, but it had to go through the cabin. I can only imagine how hot that was when it exited there. They had it come out here, they went up into the floor and then out the side. I obviously don't want that. That's ridiculous. I got these tailpipes from one of my neighbors actually. He basically showed up, he said, I see you have a Fox body, you want these tailpipes? And I think I paid 50 bucks for them, so I'll take it. I need to basically connect that to this, and that will kind of complete the exhaust, and I'm gonna drop this down, we're gonna repaint it, we're gonna make it proper, do a real hanger. We're gonna clean this up as best we can. All right, so we're gonna drop the exhaust all the way up at the header, so there are 2 bolts on each side, so you can see there's one there, under there even more, and then this side's a bit easier to see. You can see there's just 2 bolts on the flange, just like that. You can see there's a bolt there and a bolt there. Unplug the O2, take out those 2 bolts on each side, and there's obviously an O2 on each side, and then the exhaust should fall on my head, which has happened twice now. Oh, that hanger is on by like a thread. I'm gonna use my legs to hold it up. That worked way better than I thought, except now I'm stuck under the car. Now I have yet to start this car with open headers, but I think that's about to change. All right, so here is the old exhaust. Very heavy, very solid, some questionable welds, my shoe's untied. A little bit gross, but it doesn't leak. Let's see, just out of curiosity, how she sounds with open headers. That is absolutely insane. That is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God, never again. So, with the exhaust painted, it is time to roughly mount it in. Now, I realized that I made the weld-on expansion pipe a little bit too long, so I chopped a few inches off the end of that, and then I went ahead and mounted the exhaust back into the car. From here, I used a 2.5-inch stainless steel band clamp, and I actually used zip ties to simulate where the hangers would go. That way we could get a rough idea of how the exhaust would sit. Now that we know how it's going to sit, let's go ahead and let's make some custom hangers so we can finalize this exhaust. Okay, so it's like the next day. Anyway, it's a new day and I got the hangers welded in. Interesting, my bad welds that I got on the tailpipe piece that I welded to the muffler, not my fault. I am not one to normally blame the equipment for a bad job that I did. I will always own up to it. However, this time it actually was the equipment. So the MIG welder, obviously as opposed to the normal flux core, it uses gas. I'm running 75 argon, 25 carbon dioxide. Gas diverter, there's little O-rings. This is a very old welder. One of the O-rings was broken and I hadn't realized it. And well, admittedly, that's a problem. It means I wasn't getting good penetration. That's why I struggled so much to weld with it. I'll show you my welds on the hangers. Again, I'm not a welder, but they actually came out really good for my skill level. And I used the flux core for that. So I should have used flux core the whole time because my flux core welder is in good working order. But I digress. I got the exhaust hung up there. I actually just picked up some rubber isolators. So we're gonna throw those in, tighten everything up, and then I think we'll be good to go. All right, so we can see this hanger here. This is one that I made and welded on. And again, I'm not a welder and I know it could be better. For someone who's not a welder by trade, that's pretty okay. Certainly isn't gonna fall off, and then I just gotta put a rubber isolator up in there. Oh my God, that sounds so much better. I can't believe how much better that sounds. What? Now it's gonna smoke a lot because I painted the exhaust. What the heck? That sounds so good. That sounds absolutely killer. So again, that is 1 3/8 Patriot shorty headers, Catless 2.5-inch BBK H pipe with Flowmaster mufflers and some generic true dual 2.5-inch tailpipes. That sounds insanely good. Now, if you guys remember the car before, I obviously put some clips in here. It was very raspy, it was very race car-ish, raw, untamed, and that's cool in some cases, but for a car that I'm looking to like actively drive down the road, not so much. It also smelled real bad, and to be fair, it smells like burning paint right now, but it sounds so much more refined, it sounds so much better. No exhaust video is complete without some flybys, so let's wash this thing up, let's take it down the road, and let's see how the exhaust sounds going by. Well, the Fox body exhaust is complete, and as you saw from those flybys, it sounds pretty good. It is significantly quieter than I had expected it to be, which I'm not really complaining about too much, makes it much more enjoyable to drive. Sounds pretty killer. You can tell, maybe you can't, but I can tell when I'm driving it still breaks up a little bit. I know it has some running issues, and it does have a slight exhaust leak up by the header, so I probably just have to adjust how it fits with the header, because it's like the ball and cup style socket. It kind of sucks, not my favorite setup. I prefer normal flanges, but I digress. I have to figure that out on my own time. Pretty happy with how it came out. I really wish the MIG welder was working a bit better, but the flux core saved the day. So that was a pretty cheap exhaust. I paid 50 bucks for the tailpipes. The rest of the exhaust had come with the car, and then maybe another 50 to 100 bucks in other various clamps and hangers and materials and such. I'm gonna end this video here. Next video is on the Seika Turbo back there. Turbo motorcycle coming to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified when that goes live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, my name is Nick. You just watched Olsen Auto, and I will see you in the next one.